They set up the poor mechanic on a blind date as a prank, but, the CEO's daughter said, I like him. Jake Turner lived a simple life. Grease-stained hands, worn-out boots, and a tiny rented room above the workshop. Nothing fancy, nothing loud. But Jake was known for something rare: kindness. The kind that didn't need applause. The kind that showed in the way he fixed an old lady's car for free, or stayed late to help a stranded driver, even when he was exhausted. But people like Jake often became targets for those who confused humility with weakness. And that's exactly how the cruel prank began. The city's most elite private college sat just across the street from Jake's workshop. Students from wealthy families drove past daily in shiny cars. Their parents bought them. And among them was a group known for their arrogance: Brent, Nolan, and Zoe. They were bored, spoiled, and always looking for someone to laugh at. One afternoon, when Zoe's car stalled near the shop, Jake helped her without charging a penny. Instead of gratitude, she smirked at his rough clothes and whispered to her friends, "Let's have some fun with him." That was the beginning of everything. They planned a blind date. A fake one. The idea was simple: trick Jake into believing a beautiful girl wanted to meet him, then embarrass him in front of an entire cafe. They created a fake profile using an edited picture of a famous model, sent him sweet messages, and pretended she was a shy girl from the college who adored hardworking men. Jake, who had never even been on a real date in years, hesitated, but the messages felt warm, kind, and loneliness has a way of softening even the toughest heart. Finally, he agreed. The night of the date arrived. Jake wore his cleanest shirt, still faded but neatly ironed. His hands shook as he left the workshop early for the first time in months. He had no idea that Brent and the others were already at the cafe, laughing, with their phones ready to record the moment he sat alone, waiting for someone who didn't exist. But life has a strange way of rewriting the plans of the unkind. Because someone unexpected walked into that cafe: Isabel Hart, the CEO's daughter, the real daughter, known for her beauty, intelligence, and above all, her compassion. She wasn't there for the prank. She was there because destiny had nudged her in that direction. Isabel noticed Jake sitting alone at the table by the window, nervously adjusting his sleeves, glancing at the door with hopeful eyes. She recognized him instantly. He was the mechanic who once fixed her car late at night and refused payment, telling her, "Just drive safe. That's enough for me." She also noticed the group of students hiding their laughter, recording him. Her stomach twisted in disgust. Without hesitation, she walked straight toward Jake. "Hi," she said softly, sliding into the seat opposite him. "Sorry I'm late." Jake froze, confused. She smiled gently. "I'm Isabel. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long." The cafe went silent. The spoiled students stared, mouths open. Isabel Hart wasn't part of their prank. She wasn't supposed to sit with him. She wasn't supposed to smile at him. But she did. And Jake, still stunned, whispered, "Are you?" "I think there's been a misunderstanding." She leaned forward, eyes warm. "No misunderstanding. I wanted to sit with you. It wasn't a lie." In that moment, seeing his sincerity, she truly wanted to be there. She asked about his job, his dreams, his life. Jake expected pity, but she offered none. Instead, she admired his honesty, his dedication, his quiet strength, qualities rarer than diamonds in her world of polished facades. Brent finally approached, trying to salvage his prank. "Isabel, you don't have to sit with him," he said loudly. "It was a joke. Come on, don't embarrass yourself." Isabel's expression changed. Her eyes hardened. She stood up slowly. "Embarrass myself," she repeated. "No, Brent. The only embarrassing thing here is people like you, people who think kindness is something to mock." The entire cafe watched as she turned to Jake and said, "Would you like to get out of here? Maybe take a walk?" Jake nodded, still speechless. Outside, under the soft glow of street lights, Jake finally asked, "Why did you help me?" Isabel looked up at him, her eyes gentle but firm. "Because someone should, because you didn't deserve what they planned, and because—" She hesitated for a moment, cheeks warming. "I like you. I've liked you since the night you helped me without asking for anything." Jake's heart thudded in disbelief. For the first time in a long time, he felt seen, not as a poor mechanic, not as easy prey, but as a man with worth. News spread quickly how the CEO's daughter publicly defended a mechanic. Some mocked, but most admired her. And Brent, Nolan, and Zoe, they didn't get away with it. Isabel reported them to the school administration, and her father personally ensured community service hours at the workshop were included in their punishment. And so, the bullies who once laughed at Jake found themselves cleaning floors, changing tires, and facing the man they tried to humiliate. Their apologies came slowly, awkwardly, but sincerely. Jake accepted not because he had to, but because forgiveness was in his nature. As weeks passed, Isabel continued, seeing Jake. Their walks became dinners. Their conversations grew deeper. She brought light into his life, and he brought honesty into hers. They came from different worlds, but sometimes hearts speak the same language. And in their story, wealth, status, and power meant nothing. What mattered was character. By the time winter arrived, Jake no longer walked through life feeling invisible. Isabel held his hand proudly, unafraid of judgment. And when people whispered about them, she simply smiled and said, "This is the man I choose." And in her eyes, Jake Turner finally saw something he had long forgotten. He was worthy. He always had been.